No, man, but you got to keep going. What am I going to do, quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it? You make it work for you. You never give up, man. That's my philosophy.
Hey gardeners, hope you're all having a great week out in your gardens. I've been out in the alleyway cleaning up some of our garden beds, getting them ready to plant out some new varieties, but just kind of uncovered and looking at these red onions that I've got growing here. They've got some really nice green stalks, leaves growing here as well, but not seeing any of the rounding or bulbing action going on them, so not too sure what we're going to end up getting ultimately. These were planted out this last fall, but have grown really well throughout our mild winter here this year, so not too sure what'll happen next. If they don't bulb up, will we see maybe a seed stalk or something come up as well too? So we're just going to have to kind of wait and see. But all right, everybody, thank you for being here with us today. We've got great guests for you. Grant from the Gardening Grant will be here, as well as David joining us from the Farmhouse Fair. So all right, everybody, let's get growing.
All right, my garden enthusiasts and passionate plant people. Welcome to the Let's Get Growing show right here on the Urban Gardener channel. I'm Enoch. I'm your host today, and we've got a really great show ahead for you here today. In just a few minutes here, we're going to have our good friend David from Bowtie Life in the Garden joining us at the Farmhouse Fair. We're going to check out what he's got going on over there, as well as our featured guest today, Grant Minkhorst from the Gardening Grant, joining with us just a little bit later here on the show. So definitely stay tuned for these great guests here today on the show, as well as drop in for our roll call. That's right. Definitely. If you are here right now, let us know. Jump into the chat. Let us know you're here. Let us know what you've got growing on, where you're growing from, all of that sort of stuff there, so that we can get you in on our roll call coming up here in just a few minutes. As well as, let's go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit the like button, as well as subscribe, bell notification to be notified of all of our upcoming shows, as well as share with all of your garden friends out there. Let them know about the Let's Get Growing show here, our new 3-day gardening weekend. That's right. We're here again every Saturday and Sunday, our usual time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And we're also here for your third day on Monday evening. That's right. We got the green room Mondays evenings at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time here on the Let's Get Growing show. So you definitely want to come and check out all of our other shows, our Sunday edition and the Monday green room. And also big, huge shout out to all of you who are joining with us on the replay. Thank you all so much for being here. It's really great to have you here with us on your time. And just like the folks who are jumping in right now for our roll call, you can go ahead and get into the comment section and do the same. Let us know where you're here, where you're growing from, what you got growing on, all of that sort of stuff. Or just drop in and say hello. Love to hear from all of you. Love to see all of those comments in the comment section. And then, like I said, if you are here with us live, definitely join in on the conversation and drop any of your questions or comments. Questions for our guests coming up a little bit later. Love to see all of the great questions from everybody. So definitely drop into the chat and join in on the conversation. It's so wonderful to see everybody here. And I love watching the conversation throughout the show. So awesome to see you all not just enjoying the show, but enjoying each other's company as well too. So again, everybody, there are links down below in the description to our guests. Definitely go click those links, go over and find a video or a post or something like that, and let them know that you saw them here on the Let's Get Growing show. What a great way to support the show and all these awesome guests who take their time to be with us each and every weekend here on the Let's Get Growing show. So right on, everybody. Great to have you here. Like I said, so and we got lots coming up here, coming up, as well as bunch of gardening. As I showed you the clip at the beginning of the show, I'm out there working. I'm out there doing things. We had some really, really great weather this week, and been trying to get a couple of hours in each and every day, trying to do something to get this whole mess out there cleaned up and ready to go, because it's springtime. That's right. Let's not forget, it's actually the first day of spring was yesterday. So here we are in the first weekend of spring. This is our favorite time of the year for us gardeners. Everything is anew and ready to grow. And well, I mean, for some of us, I mean, I know there's still some of you in the north who are still waiting a little bit, but hopefully you've got some starts going. You got things that are getting ready to go out into the garden space. But as you saw, I've been out cleaning, getting things ready. I've got a few garden starts and all of that I'm going to get planting out here real soon in some of those alleyway spaces. I've still got the back patio to get all cleaned up and ready to go. Our rooftop garden for our peppers that are starting to sprout and getting ready to get planted out here real soon. So we've got lots and lots of things growing on, and hopefully I'll be able to fulfill my my plans for this gardening season, because again, the list keeps growing of things I got to get done before I could do some other things. But eventually, hopefully here over the next week, we'll be able to catch up with things, and then I'll be able to get really into getting some things planted out that I want to do this year that I wasn't able to do last year. So hopefully we'll be able to get all of that sort of stuff going, and hopefully that's the case for all of you as well too. Hopefully you're getting everything growing and going out in your garden spaces, and hopefully you're getting to grow all the things that you want to grow this year. I mean, it's going to be a fantastic year, as I look forward and say every single year when it comes to gardening and growing out in our garden spaces. We go in with some really great positive anticipation for what's going to be growing this year. So looking forward to everything that's about to be happening outdoors. Lots and stuff. And as well, I did show last week in our beginning clip all of the blooms coming off of our peach tree. I see the same thing is happening for our pears in the back. We got some apples back there that are starting to really grow and blossom as well. And seeing our fig trees outside are starting to pop out and starting to get those leaves and everything growing, so we can anticipate hopefully some figs not too long down the road as well too. So yeah, lots and lots growing on. And volunteers, things are starting to pop up all over the place as well too. So I got to start figuring out what I'm going to keep and what we're going to let go for some other things that we want to grow in the garden space. So lots and lots growing on. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get moving on here today. Let's start off real quick here. I'd like to see who's all joining with us today. So I hope you all jumped into the chat already to let us know you're here. Let us know where you're growing from, what you got growing on in your garden, because it's time for roll call.
My name is Kevin. Yeah. That is my name. Yeah. They call me Kevin. Yeah. Because that's my name. Roll call.
All right. Let's see who we got here in our chat with us today. And of course, right off the bat, let's go ahead and say a big hello and thank you to our good friend the J-Bot joining us here today from Midwestern Ontario in the lee of Lake Huron. And also in our chat, and keep an eye out for all of the links and information and all of that Jay drops into the chat there as our facilitator. And again, if you haven't had a shout out for your channel, if you got a gardening channel there, definitely let us know, and Jay can get a link into the chat for everybody else to go check out what you've got growing on over on your channel. And let's jump in here also and say hello to Craft Organics, saying hello to us here before the show even got started. I also saw that Rob from Rob's Allotment Gardening was in the chat as well too, as we were getting things going on here. And of course, our good friend Adam as well too, our other moderator and chat helper there as well, joining us from Central Point, Oregon, which is just right up the road from me. And he says he'll be listening in while doing his yard work. Again, a really great way to check out the show and watch the show is as you're doing all of your yard and garden work and all of that. You just pop us on and set us to the side there. And as you're getting things done, follow along with all of our great conversations here on the show. Also, let's say hello to Dusty Flats joining with us. Says things are sizzling today once again in Wisconsin. Crazy March temperatures everywhere. Yeah, I've been hearing about that as well too. Again, it's that time of season, right? It's where things are just fluctuating and going all over the place. We've been dealing with this kind of West Coast heat dome. We've been getting a little bit of it. I mean, not as scorching hot temperatures as they've been seeing down in Southern California, Arizona, Nevada, and these sort of places where they're getting well over 100+ degrees over this last week and currently right now. But that's also changing some temperatures, and for everyone else like us up here in Southern Oregon, things are a bit warmer than what they used to be. In fact, we set a record the other day for highest temperature in March for us here in our area too. So I'm sure that's just making things really crazy and fluctuating around the country as well too. Folks were last week we're dealing with a bunch of blizzards and storms and all that sort of stuff, and then I heard folks it's starting to warm up as well too in those same places. So again, crazy weather time. It's going to be a crazy weather year here for sure. So again, I just really hope that for us, I mean, I saw already in the hills, and hopefully it was a controlled burn that they were doing, but it was a lot of smoke and it looked like a good sized fire coming off of one of our hillsides here in the valley. So hopefully things won't be as bad this year. But if it's getting as hot as it is already, I don't know. See Rick joining us here. Good to see you, Rick. Good to have you back in here with us too. Rick joining us from the future, way down under in Australia. Great to see you, Rick. Thanks for being here with us today. And also, we've got Big Will Dog joining with us in the soil. Hello from warm and sunny Indianapolis. About to get outside and amend all my soil in pots. Cool season plants going outdoors. Awesome. So in Indiana there too. So yeah, like I said, things warming up, which is really great to hear. Definitely. And Serena saying she's up potted 9 plants and got them in the garage under grow lights and watered them, getting them ready to go outside here for sure. Let's see, we got Growing with Stella here. Stella from the UK joining us. Thank you so much, Stella, for being here. It's great to have you here. Thanks for joining us from over in the UK as well, too. Really great to see you. See Jennifer also joining us here. Mrs. Bowtie. Greetings, global gardeners from Mrs. B. Right on. Great to see you here. We'll have David on here in just a couple of minutes here. He's hanging out live for us on location there down at the farmhouse fair. So we'll go and hopefully everything works out all right. We'll get some good conversation with David from the fair. Also, Meg's Edible Landscapes joining with us here too as well. Great to see you, Meg. Awesome to have you here with us. Thanks for jumping in on the conversation, as well as Darth X. Always great to see you in the conversation. Thanks for being here with us. See Sean the gardener too. Busy day in the garden for me. Yeah, hopefully it's a busy day. That's what we want to hear again this time of year, is that we all have the opportunity to get out, get growing. Like we like to say here, let's get growing, right? It's springtime, so let's get growing for sure. And Dusty Flat saying, yeah, extreme record temps will be broken today. Yeah, oh my. Let's hope, like I said, let's hope that things will be all right for all of us as the season gets progressing and we get into summertime, because that's my biggest fear when it comes to seeing all these record high temperatures so early in the season is what are we going to be facing when it comes summertime, especially for folks like us here on the West Coast, where, over the last several years, we've gotten used to just really crazy wildfire issues and all of that. And if it's going to be as hot and dry this summer, we could be really, really in for it for sure. But again, everybody, thank you so much for jumping in with us here for our roll call today. And if you didn't get a chance to get a shout out here for roll call, definitely continue to jump in. Let us know where you're growing from, what you got growing on in your gardens, and we'll try to feature those throughout the show. So right on, everybody. Let's go ahead and take our first real quick break here, and then we'll be right back, and we'll check out what David's got growing on for us over at the Farmhouse Fair. So we'll see you in just one moment.
Ivy Organic was founded on the gardening concept of whitewashing, simply lightening your plants to better tolerate weather extremes, transplant shock, and so much more. Such a valuable gardening practice that farmers have been doing it since BC times. However, in recent years, most research has been caring for plants and trees using latex and tar-based products which are designed to last 100 years but fall off your plants within 1 to 2 years as your plants grow, contaminating your garden soil indefinitely. Available in colors white or more natural looking colors such as brown, green, gray, and grayish. Ivy Organic has 2 general categories of whitewash products. The 3-in-1 Plant Guard, which includes 7 natural oils including castor, cinnamon, clove, garlic, peppermint, rosemary, and spearmint, which offer insect and rodent repellent protection, and the whitewash oil-free formula. Both products also have diatomaceous earth in the base ingredients, which naturally offer some insect repellent protection too. As always, keep growing with Ivy Organics and wishing you all happy gardening.
Hi gardeners, this is Brandy, the Suburban Gardenista, and I'm here today with your garden trivia for this week. Your question for today is, what type of maple tree can be tapped to collect sap to turn into maple syrup? And your options are A, red maple, B, sugar maple, C, Norway maple, or D, Manitoba maple. I'll be back a little bit later in the show with the answer.
So, all right, all right. Do you know the answer to Brandy's trivia question? Definitely jump into the chat. Let us know what you think the answer is. And here, in just a few minutes after our discussion with David, we'll get the answer from Brandy in our next break. But again, thank you everybody for being here. It's great to have you here with us. And also, let's go ahead and see here. I want to make sure we get this right. We're going to go ahead and do this. And it's time for Are You Following Me?
Are you following me? Are you following me, dude?
All right, all right. So this week we're following our good friend David from Bowtie Life all the way to the Farmhouse Fair. Let's jump in here. Oh, there he is. Hey, we got Mrs. Bowtie as well too.
Not Mrs. Bowtie. Sorry.
I'm sorry. My camera.
I'm seeing someone else on the side.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My camera's in the way, so I was just kind of guessing, I guess.
Mrs. Bowtie's in chat. This is actually Rachel. Rachel, why are you so important?
Yes. Okay, here we go.
My name is Rachel Wallace. I'm with Dusty Goat Homestead and Lady Skillshare, and we are actually the host of the Farmhouse Fair.
The host of the farm. Excellent. We got the host right off the bat. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So how's the fair going so far today?
It's going good. It's been busy and stressful.
Busy. I tell you what, this is a success.
It's been busy, but it's been a lot of fun, and takes a lot of work to do this, and to see it come to fruition is well worth all the months of work.
Oh, right on. Right on. Excellent. That's really good to hear. So yeah, right on. Excellent. So
okay, thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go ahead, say what you're saying.
Well, right on. I was just going to ask about what all they've got going on there at the fair, at the Farmhouse Fair.
Let me just talk a minute here. I'm going to turn the camera around, and so you can see what I'm looking at. And the very first one is a very special booth here, and gentleman here to my left is going to talk to us in a minute. We're a little crowded, but this is Granny B's Treats. And I got to tell you, this is kind of a special booth because I want to show you the flavors here. They have cookies. They have a margarita cookie, a bacon whiskey chocolate chip cookie, an old-fashioned cookie. And let me tell you something. They are delicious. They are just amazing. I had to get several for Mrs. Bowtie. And in fact,
Do you want the cookie one? No.
I need this one here. This is the one I tried earlier on the other live stream. Oh yes. And they have free samples here, and it's so cool because that whiskey just gives it this little flavor. It's a very subtle hint. It's just really incredible.
Wow, yeah, that definitely sounds like a very fun and interesting combination, and that's what you find at those type of fairs, right? And another
Right,
good
right.
reason for going to these type of events and everything too is to grab a hold of some of them samples too, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. We bought a few.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
tell me your Granny B's treats. Tell me briefly about you and your wife.
Okay, we've been doing this for how long now? Probably.
In Florida since November, but we were doing it up in West Virginia for a couple years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she just retired, and she was kind of kicking her feet. Am I gonna do this? Gonna do this? And she finally said, "I'm gonna do it."
There you
And
go.
here we are. We have Granny B treats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, someone forgot their phone.
Yep. And you're not going to find these cookies in your granny's cupboard.
No, right?
These are specialty cookies. So
That's great.
And-
Yeah, it sounds like you got some great choices there. What are some other ones that you got going there besides the one David tried?
Well, we got a margarita with a tortilla glaze, an old fashioned, which is a molasses cookie with a bourbon rolled in a bourbon sugar, a trash can. It's two different types of chocolate, caramel, and potato chips.
Oh,
We have
wow,
a snick-
potato chips.
We have a
Love it.
snickerdoodle and a salted caramel dark chocolate. We also have something for the gluten-free folks. We have a cookie dough and a key lime and espresso bar. We also have a lemon bar and a pecan bourbon brownie.
Wow.
Which is my favorite.
The pecan bourbon brownie.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that. Do you have any of those in sample form?
I do.
Oh, okay. I didn't try this on my show earlier today, so let's do a live tasting. Oh my!
Yeah,
She's got
let's
a
try one of
special.
those.
She has it. Oops, sorry.
You heard
She
your
has it
hand.
in a special container. So
I warned you you're going to want to buy one.
Okay.
So before you tried it.
He warned me. Oh my god, that's a lot of chocolate. Oh, I love that. Oh my goodness.
Can't have enough
Gooey.
chocolate, right, David?
No, that was gooey. And okay, I would not have been able to pick out what that flavor was, but there's something extra in
There's
there.
bourbon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
There's a
bourbon.
lot of
Oh, and there it is. Oh my. Yeah. So that's really a good one. Let's go over here to the next one. Thank you all very much. Okay. So I wanted to go over here to another special booth, and this is kind of fun. It's a family of 4. It's called Wren Haven Homestead. And the spinning, there's the spinning wheel over here. She was over here spinning her own fiber. And I actually just gave did not Jeff, is it? Yeah. Did Jeff tell you I got your information to Londa from Adventures with Me and T? She's your fiber connection.
Right
She is
on.
like the fiber connection. So, and this is Meg, right? Okay, I got it right. All right. So yeah, and she's been spinning all day and just taking the fiber. And this always fascinates me.
Wow.
This is mesmerizing.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And then just watching the
What a way
string
to
build
take it
up.
to that next level, but making your own strings and yarns and things. That's great.
Oh, and so yeah, she puts it on another hook and okay. Oh, that is fascinating.
And
So-
what are some of the things that she's making with this here?
Oh yeah. We got some beautiful like placemats here. Towels.
How-
Beautiful fiber. And then
Little head scarves and
Head
towels
scarves?
and stuff. And there's more towels.
more towels and so forth.
Cowl, like around your neck.
Oh, cowl. Oh, it is a cowl. I see that.
Over your head.
Oh my gosh.
That's woven.
Yes, it is. Oh, it's so soft. You can tell that's fresh fiber. And the cool thing here is, young gentleman standing to my left, her son, he actually has his own business here. He's making these little card holders, and it's a little bit of leather with a clasp in it that opens up. I can't do it with one hand very well. There we go. But it opens up, and you can put your business cards in there. It's just the right size. And then
Yeah,
his
that's
brother,
really-
his older brother, is actually making earrings out of the leather.
Right on.
Oh,
right
you have a
on.
pair? There we go.
Feathers.
Yeah, they look like feathers. So anyway,
Wow, how creative. That's
it
awesome.
really is. And I told him, I've had a business of my own since I was somewhere around 7 years old. And I've got my business degree in management, and I believe very strongly about young people always having something like that on the
Yeah.
side. So good job, Mom and Dad. Jeff is not here at the moment, but
No, that's great.
oh yeah.
Love it.
Oh,
Early
David,
education and business.
yeah. Now, I don't know if you saw me in the, thank you, Meg. I appreciate it. I don't know if you saw me in behind stage. I actually had David the Good speaking with me. And I was so wishing that you could have got me on for 2 seconds, because David was kind of I'm trying to change cameras here. David was standing next to me in the frame. He is speaking on stage right now, though.
Right,
So,
right, huh? Well,
anyway,
that's awesome. Excellent. Yeah, it just so happens to be right in time for him being on stage. So
yep, just exactly in the time. So anyway, I do want to go around here to another booth, and I do have certain area which I can get to and still keep most of my signal.
yeah,
Got one
that's
more.
That's the biggest thing with roaming around a fair like that, especially out in the open like that.
Yeah, yes. Well, let me change the
But
camera
so
around,
far,
because
so good. So far, so good. We're doing pretty good.
yeah, we tested this morning. So we are here in the booth of Bee Leaf Blooms, locally grown. And this young couple here has their own half-acre property, and they are growing flowers. And you have your own florist license now?
Nursery license.
Nursery license.
You don't actually require a license to be a florist, which is a benefit because I've been learning as I grow my own flowers. But I do want to study being a florist to learn a little bit more than what I already know. For now, I'm just learning how to make flower crowns.
Yeah, I want to show you this flower crown that she makes. This is all live flowers.
Wow, nice.
That she constructs herself and grows herself, right?
Not these ones.
Not those? Okay. I see some.
This is winter time.
Yes.
So we do have a wholesale license to get us through. And about 3 or 4 weeks, my zinnias will be in. I already have some roses about to go.
I love zinnias.
Those are kind of ones I can put on here. Some of the dehydrated are from last year's garden.
Yeah.
This is, dehydrated.
Okay.
See if we can get a. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
So it's just
I think we lost our audio. Hang on.
No,
there you are.
the rose that's been dehydrated.
We're losing signal. Okay. So anyway, they have plant starts and all kinds of good stuff here. Am I coming in now?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a little.
I think I've lost it.
Bit, but no, we're good. You might not be hearing.
Okay,
me,
okay. So I can.
But we can.
I can hear you now.
A little bit.
Okay, excellent.
Blocky, but
we'll show you one more of these crowns.
Not everyone really likes the big ones, so it's nice to do a little teeny one.
You ever want to feel like a princess?
Yeah, this is kind of meant for like little girls with a littler head.
Absolutely.
You know? And then we can trim out any leaves people don't like, but I like to leave them because I'm a whimsy kind of girl, and some people might like that whimsy.
I can tell.
So,
okay.
what kind of flowers do they grow at their farm there?
So zinnias, roses. What other things do you grow on your farm?
Sunflowers. I have a huge Tithonia that is like our it's about 12 foot tall. It's a Mexican sunflower. So come November is when it's blooming, when everything else is done for.
Oh my goodness.
What's the few other? Gosh, we have a lot of things. Right now the amaryllises are popping up. Gladiolus bulbs are popping up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our amaryllis. I had my first amaryllis bloom yesterday.
Did you?
I recorded it when it was closed and 5 hours later when it was open.
Oh, wow.
I wish I'd put a camera on it because I could have done a time lapse. Of course, that's what my director, Mrs. Bowtie, said later.
I know, I'm like, I can't think of off the top of my head. Oh, Gaillardia blanket flower is a huge one that covers a lot. I like things that will reseed themselves too. We're getting into Coreopsis otic seed, which is a native. What else do we have? I have American Beautyberry. I like the flowers.
American Beautyberry. I have one. A bird gifted it to me last year, and I'm cultivating it this year.
We actually moved ours from a lot down the street, and then that lot is now cleared off. So all of our actually one of these is the American Beautyberry baby. It's one of my first times doing a cutting and making babies. So, but literally his mother is now no longer with us.
Oh.
So, but we have continued her line by
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to take cuttings this year. That was one of the ones I'm doing some air layering with. So,
Yeah.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, it's just nice to feel like we already have 3 pretty larger solid bushes from that mother, but that mother was the size of this tent.
Are you serious?
But people, you love to build. I get it, So anyway.
Okay. I didn't know it would get that big.
Yeah, no, it was a huge bush.
I want to have enough.
The base probably was really thick, but it would bush out,
Oh, okay. Well, mine was just gifted last year, so from bird. Yeah, it's a little over knee high right now.
You can cut it back and then guide it however you want it to go, but it will keep pushing out.
Yeah.
Taller.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Sorry, I got squirreled there for just a moment. I think you and I could probably squirrel all day.
Black-eyed Susie. There's so many flowers.
Irises just popped up.
Irises.
Mm-hmm.
We had wild irises down the creek, but we just put one in our yard. That's the Dutch iris that bloomed for us.
Oh, okay.
We sold that already.
Okay. They've been selling. I actually bought some calendula and some California poppy. Oh, that's.
So right now the poppies are popping. I have jumping jacks, violets. We have some pansies. Snapdragons are about to pop off, but also borage.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to eat the borage.
Yep. There you go.
So anything that's edible.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. I'm going to try to get to one more location. Is that okay, Enoch?
Absolutely. Yeah, we get.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got going on over here at the Farmhouse Fair. Where is this located at now, David? Can you hear me?
It is at the Santa Rosa County Fairgrounds outside of Milton, Florida.
Okay, excellent.
You hear that?
Looks like the weather's really nice.
Oh, it's gorgeous. You could not have ordered better weather. So we have Sherry's Remedy Room. Now, Sherry has been with another organization here recently. She is rebranding. Hey, there's Sherry. And she is selling she is selling honeys and other remedies here. And sherrysremedyroom.com is her website. But she has a number of products that she's making herself that look really good. I came through in here and helped destroy her booth a little while ago, but I think we got everything polished off, right?
Doing good.
So how long have you been doing this on your own now?
So since November, I've been on my own.
Since November, okay.
I rebranded and blocked some things.
Yeah, I know we're getting some background music in here. How loud is that background music to you, Enoch?
I'm not hearing it, so I wouldn't worry about it. Tell us a little bit more about what she's got on in there.
Well, let me go on to the last one here, and then we can get away from the music.
Okay.
Now
we're starting to break up.
We're back. During the summer,
we're not. Can you hear me, David? Nope. All right. Let's see here. I think he's kind of broken out on us here again too. That's one of the hard things about trying to do and cover in these sort of types of events, especially these big outdoor events like this, is trying to keep the internet going. So let's see here. We'll try to catch up with him in one moment here if he gets back on with us here. We'll keep an eye out for that for a second here real quick. But I've got a lot of experience in this. I've tried doing the same thing, doing things from on location, and it's always some sort of issue with the internet when you're trying to cover these things. It takes a little bit of a bandwidth, to be able to do the video streams and do all that sort of stuff. So, all right, let's see here. Let's get him back on real quick. I think. All right, there you are. You're back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, David?
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
broke
that
out
last
there just a
booth-
little bit. Tell us a little bit about what was that last booth was.
They do it there. They do a homestead. They do kids camps and teach kids how to do farm stuff, like dealing with the
that's
goats.
awesome.
They actually had a goat there in the cage. And they do summer camps where they teach the kids how to do everything on the homestead. It was mind blowing, everything she was talking about. And so
Wow, that sounds really fascinating.
it really is. It really was fascinating to talk to her. I wish we could have. I was right on the edge of the range where my signal cut out, obviously. I will show you David the Good, and I'm going to probably end with trying to show you his booth because where that's kind of the other end of the signal area.
Right.
And I've gotten it once, and I'll try to get it again. We have Daisy the Good over here manning the booth, so to speak. But I wanted to show you he has all his tools. Anybody who doesn't know, David the Good has a farm and garden store in Atmore, Alabama, brand new to him. I do want to show you. I'm very proud of these right here because I'm hoping these are still my seeds.
Oh, here we go again. Uh-oh. Might have to back out and go back that other way there. Sorry, everybody. We're trying to get it covered here.
Anyway,
sure, but yeah. Just on the border that what it's going to allow you to do right there. But tell us what were the seeds again? David, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. That's going to be the end of what I can do.
Yeah. So tell us again about the seeds there.
Those are, I gave Daisy 30,000 of my loofah seeds that I grew year before last. And she is selling them in little packs now.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Got your seeds out on the David the Good store. That's awesome.
Well, they're not mine anymore. I traded her for some sugar cane. And that's that sugar cane I have growing in the back.
They'll always have come from your garden. That's not.
That's right. That's right. Now tell me your name one more time.
Keith White.
Where are you from?
I'm here locally, Milton.
Who are you representing over here?
Springdale Homestead.
Springdale Homestead.
Yep.
Some of you may know them. He wants to go on YouTube and make content, and
we talked about it.
I've been encouraging him. So, but they have several plant starts and tree starts and a few other goodies in here as well. So
excellent. Like what kind of things are they do they have as far as starts? Okay. Every time we get in, but that's all right. I don't know. I think that okay.
Red clover tea. I'm gonna step. So
there we go.
Jay Dixon had a suggestion. Stay out from under the tent. We'll try this one more time. Lemongrass. Oh, it is herbal tea. Is that what that is? Oh, nice. Okay. Herbal teas and starts. Pumpkin starts. I'm trying to grow pumpkin. I'm trying to grow pumpkin this year.
There's a heirloom ones. Those are the ones that have come out like of the blue color and the greenish and orange colors.
Oh, okay.
They use for decorative, but you can also eat them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you can actually cut them, make like steak kind of like cuts out of.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right, Enoch. I think I've taken up much.
Well, again, tell us real quick though, like so David's speaking there. So obviously you get different lectures from folks at the farmhouse fair. Who else is doing some speaking and that sort of stuff?
We had Billy Bailey that's talking about foraging, and I actually walked through part of his class. I had to cut out of the class to start this, but he's talking about just what's growing in your yard and what you can eat in a salad, you can steep in a tea, you can smoothie, or you can soup. And there's one other. There's 5 S's that he talked about. And then the gentleman from the Florida, if you look at the website, he's the gentleman from University of Florida. He's talking about hydroponics and so forth. And then, of course, David the Good is talking grocery row gardening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's one more that I can't think of right now.
So is this just a one-day event that they have there, or is this a one-day event?
I think it's one day. This is the day I'm here. So for me, yes, it's one day.
For you, it's the one day. That's right. Definitely. That makes sense there for sure. So after you're done here, where are you planning on heading? What are you going to be doing there?
I'm going to try to get a interview with David the Good and just video it, and with the mics so we can hear it very good. I'd like to get another interview with Rachel that we started with on this segment, and just get a little more information about the event. And we'll be doing something with that. I might send you something off of that, Enoch. But I'm going to do that for the next hour or so, and then from there, I get to go home. Mrs. Bowtie is letting me come home, I think, after 5. So.
Oh yeah. You got to be gone until at least 5, right?
Don't make content. You're bugging me.
She needs a break, right? There you go.
That's right.
How far away from where you're at is this? Do you have to travel to get there?
It took me 56 minutes to get here.
Okay, not too far away then.
No, and most of that's driving along the beach road. So
excellent.
It's pretty. Right on. It's a nice drive.
Well, that's really fantastic, David. Thank you for taking the time to get through all of the internet issues or whatever, which is again too just kind of how it goes doing this. But I guess we got to see a pretty good chunk there about what's going on and everything, and it's always fun to be able to get to check out some of these cool fun live events, because this is really where we're for us gardeners and growers and all of that, these sort of events are a really fun experience to be able to get out and meet other people who are doing things and all of that sort of stuff, meet some of these great content creators like David the Good, who's out speaking and all of that as well too. So all sorts of fun events going on all over the country, and so you get a chance to go and check some of them out, get out and do that. Look at that, we got a drone out there. That would be fun to take a look at, a little overhead view, right? But again, thanks, David, for getting out and showing us around here at the Farmhouse Fair in Milton, Florida, right?
Yes.
What do we got here?
Some bunnies.
Oh yeah. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Right on. Right on.
A new home. Yep. Looking for a new home, either in somebody's yard or somebody's stomach.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Right on. Right on. Well, again, David, thank you so much for being here with us today. It was really great to have you. And hopefully you have a nice, safe trip back home. All right.
We'll Thank you. Good to see y'all. Oh, by the way, if Janet Potter doesn't show up in the chat, she's standing right over. I don't see her right now. I think she's over there right now. Janet Potter
you got Janet there too,
walked up to me while I was here.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you definitely.
She didn't want to be on camera.
All right. All right. Well, you go say hi to her for me and let her know that we all say hello from the Let's Get Growing show. It's great to always see her.
There you go.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't see her right now. All right.
All right. Take care, David. Have a safe trip home.
Catch
you later. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, gardeners. Thanks for tuning in to our show today. We'll be right back at it here in just a moment. I just wanted to take a second here to highlight our regular videos and features here on the Urban Gardener channel. Our weekly garden journals. And our incredible featured visits.
I'm back with the answer to this week's trivia question. Do you know which type of maple tree can be tapped to collect sap to make maple syrup? The correct answer is all of them. Sugar maples are definitely a fan favorite when it comes to tapping maple trees to collect sap to turn into syrup, because they have a higher concentration of sugar in their sap. But you can certainly tap any maple tree, collect that sap, and boil it down into syrup. It might take a little longer because the sugar content is lower and might taste a little bit different, but it will certainly be golden and delicious and mapley as well. And that's your garden trivia for today. Thanks so much for playing. Enjoy the rest of the show and be sure to pop by and say hi at the Suburban Gardenista on YouTube and Instagram. And there'll be a link for you down in the description below. Thanks again and happy gardening.
So, all right. Did you get the answer to Brandy's trivia question? Just a bit of a trick question, I guess, this week from Brandy. But yeah, I didn't know about the fact that you could actually tap all of the different maple trees for maple syrup. But great to know. And again, everybody, check the link down below in the description to Brandy's channel, The Suburban Gardenista. Go say hello and let her know if you got that question right. And then we'll see her again next week for another garden trivia. And if you didn't get a chance to check out the show this last week, we had on with us this last Saturday, Christy Wilhelmy from The Garden Nerd was with us last week. She announced her new book coming out in her garden variety series. So you want to go back and check that out and learn all about her new book coming up, as well as Sophia from One Arizona Garden joined with us last week as well too. Really great to meet Sophia on the show and learn all about her growing down in Arizona. Also, last Sunday for the show on our Sunday edition was our monthly gardening book club. That's right. We got to join with our good friend, Mr. MBC. Mark Boucher Colbert joins with us live for In the Garden and co-hosting the book club with us. And this last week, we had joining with us Gary Pilarczyk. Gary Pilarczyk talking all about his book, Growing an Edible Landscape, How to Transform Your Outdoor Space into a Food Garden. Really great conversation with Gary. It's always great to have him on the show with us, but it was really awesome to be able to talk with him all about this just really awesome book that he wrote about growing an edible landscape. And then again, too, when you join with us on our monthly gardening book club, you get to learn about who our next book club is. And next month for this month, we're featuring Emily Murphy's Grow Now. Yeah, how to go beyond organic, rewild your land, sequester carbon, and support biodiversity. Grow Now by Emily Murphy, our April feature for the monthly gardening book club. So definitely join with us on the third Sunday of April to catch up with that conversation with Emily and her book, Grow Now. Also, yes, that's right. We got 3 shows now. We've got our new show, the Monday evening, The Green Room. And last week on The Green Room, we had Jessica from Dream to Seed joining with us. It was really great to hang out with Jessica and Chad from Down Home Backyard Gardening. And like I've been saying these last few weeks, if you haven't had a chance to check out The Green Room, you've definitely got to come and join with us Monday evenings. That starts at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and come and check out all that we've got growing on over there. And then come and check us out this coming Monday for another Green Room. I'll let you know here just a little bit about who we've got coming up for this week's shows. We got a great show for you tomorrow as well, too. So, all right, everybody, it's time for, I know he's waiting in the background here. It's time for our featured guest.
You never know when you might learn something, and that's what this is about for me. These are people that I admire. Please welcome my next guest.
So, all right, all right. Our next guest, we got to meet this last year on the show for an Are You Following Me segment, but now we've brought him back. We've brought him back again to join with us as a feature guest today. We've got Grant from the Gardening Grant here. How's it going, my man? How you doing?
I was going to say good afternoon, but I think it's just afternoon for me.
Right,
Maybe
right,
not
right.
quite afternoon where you are.
In just a few minutes. In
Okay,
just
well,
a few
almost
minutes.
afternoon. Good almost
Almost after.
afternoon
There
to
you
the
go, right?
PST. Thanks for
Awesome.
having me back.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Had such a great conversation last time. We knew we had to have you back, talk more about what you've got growing on over there in your gardens and your gardening grant channel and all of that too. But first, before we get moving along here, I'll give you just a few minutes to kind of introduce yourself to everybody, folks who might have not met you yet. Let everybody know all about yourself there, Grant.
Sure, happy to. So, my name's Grant Minkhorst, also known on social media as Gardening Grant or The Gardening Grant on Instagram. Gardening Grant was already taken. I am. I don't even know how to describe myself. I like to call myself a garden clown and enthusiast.
A garden.
But I've been gardening for about 6, 7 years now, and I stumbled into social media by just kind of trying to share my journey
Yeah.
and accumulated a really cool community of
Mhm.
like-minded gardeners kind of at various stages. And I am located in Toronto, Canada, so zone technically now zone 7A Canadian zone, but probably
Mm.
aligns with USDA zone 6A.
Yeah.
But we're always changing. It's hard to keep up. But probably 6A USDA and then a 7A the Canadian hardiest zones. I do a lot of native plant gardening, cut flower gardening, and we do some raised vegetable gardens. And I'm just really about teaching and learning, and trying to find the joy and the fun in gardening,
Yeah.
as much as possible. As much as possible. That's the Coles notes.
Yeah, well, I think if anybody follows along with, I follow you on Instagram and all of that too, and I catch your reels all the time. I think if anybody who's following along knows that you absolutely do have a lot of fun in the garden, that's for sure. And
Yeah,
I love how you call it a garden clown, right? I love
I
it.
was raised in a different time where gardening was a very serious sport,
Mm.
uh, and my grandfather was a very serious gardener, and it seemed like a hobby for a specific type of person,
Right.
and it never really jived with who I was as a person. So when I realized that you could kind of do it and do it your own way,
Yeah.
I kind of opened up this whole new world for me.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I suppose the older generations take it a little bit more seriously about, again, which I think is coming back around too, in the sense of folks, the food prices are out there. I think more and more people are starting
Yep.
to discover that backyard space and what it can do for them as far as producing food. So I think hopefully, and in some senses, folks are taking it seriously and starting to learn and get involved with growing their own food in that sort of way. But still, I mean, the garden provides us so many other things than flowers or food or the things that we're outgrowing. It gives us this connection to nature. Can be kind of a great place to kind of just catch up with yourself and what's going on in your life and that sort of stuff, as well as having a bunch of fun too, because we got to have some fun in the garden as well too. And there's just so many great things to grow and enjoy and have fun with. So we've got to capture those types of things as well too.
Indeed. And there's always something new to learn. There's always something different to do.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how I've always taken it, and where my interest is that you never know what's around that next garden corner of what you're going to be growing, whether it's vines, shrubs, native plants, trees, propagating, air layering, growing
Mhm.
your own fruit trees. There's so much to do, and there's so many directions to go, that you're never bored. And I think right now, especially when the world seems very chaotic,
Yeah.
it's a really grounding place, literally and figuratively, for us to kind of just go back and reset. When lots of anxiety, you're feeling nervous, whatever you're going through, it's a really grounding place for me to kind of reset my brain and focus in on something good that brings
Yeah.
me joy.
Yeah, yeah. Like Craft Organic says, hobby don't provide a way of life, feeds, and it feeds in so many different ways if you really think about it. And that's the thing I love about the garden. I talk about it all the time here, is that when you start discovering all of these other things you're getting from your garden space, that connection, that, just like you're saying, when the world's going crazy and you can just kind of escape in this space and all that sort of stuff, that's when you really, it seals the deal. You're going to be a gardener for life at that point in time. I'm quite certain of that. I know it was a big thing for me. I got into just growing some food and checking out what I could do with my different small spaces. And then when I started finding that relief from some of the things that were going on in my life, I was like, man, this is where I want to be. This is the space I want to be spending the most time in, and I'm sure that a lot of other gardeners feel the same way.
Yeah, you just got to get people in there, which is kind of where I focus a lot of my energy on, just trying to helping people find the entry
Yeah.
point that will bring them in, because once you're in, as you well know, you're in,
Yeah.
and it's only downhill from there. And
It's
so
only
just getting people in there, like whatever it is, if it's a
Yep.
specific flower or a specific goal, growing your own food, growing cut flowers for, or growing a tree in memory of someone that you care, whatever gets you there is what gets you there, and then the world opens.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, and again, too, there's all sorts of different types of gardens and spaces and things that you can grow and do, whether you like more of the landscape gardening and these cool, different things. If you want to grow, perennials or natives or flowers or food, or, we can just go on and on and on. There's all sorts of different things and ways to go. Just find that one thing that interests you the most and start there, right?
Yep. And I think it's all right being a generalist. I think, if there's something that really captures your imagination, and you really want to save money on vegetables and fruit, absolutely go down that route. But once you realize that you can kind of do a lot of double duty, and you can grow
Yeah.
fruit and you can grow vegetables, and they can also serve like a ecological purpose or a landscape purpose. It doesn't have to be one thing, which is really where that starts, where you just kind of build your little circles of interest, and they just get wider and wider once you realize that all these things do multiple things, and all of them will bring you joy.
Right, right, yeah. So as you're saying, you got started growing. This was something that you grew up with around family, or was this something you kind of discovered on your own?
So I don't even know if I've ever told this story on any social media, but
Oh, that's what we love here. Let's tell some news stories.
no, it's very interesting. So I grew up in the country, like a hour and a half outside of Toronto. So we had 7 acres. My parents built a house, exactly
Yeah.
the way they wanted. And one of the things that I realized as an adult that I grew up with that was not common was, next to my bedroom, which was on the top floor of a 3-story house,
Oh, wow.
was a giant greenhouse. We
Oh,
had a
wow.
greenhouse that was next to my bedroom, that had its own water line, and it was
Really?
it was probably well over 300 square feet,
Right.
and of this huge space where my mom would start a lot of annuals in the winter.
Yeah.
And I loved being in there. I didn't like gardening.
Yeah.
I didn't really like gardening yet, but I liked being in that space. I liked the smell. I still remember the smell of the soil and of the plants and of
Mhm.
the water, everything that was happening in there. I just remember that smell. So that was a very unique thing that I realized that now I want, of course. Now I'm like, I need to
Yeah.
have a greenhouse next to my bedroom, because it just seemed, it probably was a nightmare from like a water leakage point of view. But with snow, I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't even asked them, but it was magical for me. I would just go in there and read,
Yeah.
because I liked being in that space, the brightness, the plants. And then the other thing is that I grew up, obviously in the countryside, but we had a compost pile. I was one of the first people that I remember. Our family was big composters. We had a
Wow.
giant compost pile, that I would take that's how I learned how to drive, on a riding mower. And so I would take, we would take the grass cuttings, and we would put them, the
Yeah.
nitrogen, and then we would mix it with all the carbon pieces that we were getting from, the leaves and in the kitchen waste.
Wow.
And I was raised doing that. And
Wow.
so I've been around it my entire life. And we used to tap our own trees. Speaking of your earlier segment, we
Yeah.
tapped all of our maple trees, and we made our
Yeah.
own syrup. Like it was so. But the thing is that as soon as I was old enough, I
Yeah.
moved to a city. I moved to Montreal and then moved to Toronto. And I don't even think I had a house plant for 6 or 7 years, because I don't know, maybe I just wanted to do something different. And I
Right.
wanted to kind of, march to the beat of my own drum, I guess. And it
Yeah.
wasn't until we bought our own house 6 years
Yeah.
ago that I really jumped right into gardening, because our
Yeah.
our front yard and our backyards were an absolute disaster. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting kind of break that I
Yeah.
had growing up, which was such an integral part of me. My grandfather was a prolific
Yeah.
gardener. My other grandfather was a dairy farmer, like grew up like rural areas, grew all their own vegetables. And then I end up taking this like 10, 15-year break, 20-year break of nothing. And then look at
Mhm.
where I am now.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I similar way, and I really like the story of the greenhouse and the compost pile and stuff. It's similar to me. I mean, I don't ever consider like having experience in growing and in doing things like that, but I do remember my grandmother in Alaska. She had a little greenhouse, and the same sort of thing. It was kind of like an escape room in a way, to get away from people or to do things. I go run off into this greenhouse, and I think it was the same sort of sensory type of things that you're talking about, just the way it was lit up, the smell, just the way it was, inside of there. Plus, being away from everybody else. I had kind of a big family up there. So there's you want to kind of find ways to, to seclude yourself, in a good greenhouse is a great way, and nobody's going to find you, except for maybe your grandmother when she's out doing some things in the greenhouse. But no, I mean, it's a great experience. And again, to the compost piles, I remember being around a compost pile when I was younger, but I had no clue what it was or what it was doing or why they even piled up all of this stuff. And you would see food scraps, and banana peels or whatever, hanging out, and it's like, why are they doing? I never thought of exactly what it was until later on in life, when I got to start gardening and growing and learning about soil myself, to remember back at those and go, oh, okay, yeah, that's what they were doing there. But it's really cool that you had that kind of experience, that it was just kind of integrated into your life and all of that. And I just again too want to reimagine this greenhouse you're talking about again. So this is a greenhouse, you're 3 stories up, but it's down right on the ground level though, right?
No.
No, this is what I'm trying to imagine. You say 3 stories, it's like
I,
up there, huh?
so I have looked.
Okay.
I have looked for a photo of this greenhouse
Yeah.
everywhere, and I haven't been able to find one, because once when someone bought it, when
Yeah.
we moved, they got rid of it. Because I get that it's probably a niche thing that you would want a greenhouse on the top floor of your house, but
Right.
so I can't find a photo of it. But basically, the top floor was where all the bedrooms were. So my bedroom was kind of off to the side, and then there
Yeah.
was like a landing area on the top of the stairs, and then all the other bedrooms were down the hall. And then this one kind of it was almost like a top floor terrace that jutted out, and then there was a the curved glass went over top, and there were a couple of I can't remember the opening mechanisms on them, but I remember
Yeah.
that it was a curved glass downwards down to the floor, and it was
Yeah.
4 sides, like sorry, three sides, I guess, glass. And there was a separate door that went into the greenhouse because it wasn't heated, I don't
Mm.
believe. But again, I have my mom, I
Was
peppered her.
there like, what was underneath of it then, being up there?
So I think it was over top of the kitchen.
Okay, there
And
you go.
so it was, I think it was over top of the kitchen. So it had like very solid structure, and it had a really deep sink in it. And then it had benches that went all the way around, and then a middle bench that were two tiers. So there was
Yeah.
two places where you could do all the potting up, and where there was just tons of space. So on the lower level were all the supplies, soils, trays, and then on the top where the light was, there was just littered around, just like cell trays of mostly geraniums and
Oh,
impatiens, if I remember correctly.
yeah.
But I'd have to clarify that with my mom. But that's what I remember. Those are the two plants I really distinctly remember, because geraniums also have a pretty distinct smell.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember tomatoes in my grandmother's, but talk about taking the idea of a kitchen garden to a whole nother level, but on top of the kitchen versus outside the kitchen. That's just
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, and you know, and the other thing was that we grew. It's really where I learned that you could grow herbs within your
Mm,
garden beds. And
yeah.
I did this thing, and I, again, you're bringing up stories that I've never told online, which I think are so funny. But when we would go, because we would take a bus. Now I walk my
Yeah.
kid to school. We live in the city, so I walk across the street. It's like 2 minutes. But for
Yeah.
us, we lived in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
So our bus in the morning would pick us up. It was an hour to my school.
Yeah.
So in the
Same
morning, we would,
experience here. Yep.
so you know how it is, like that long,
Uh-huh.
we were one of the first pickups in the morning. But I remember
Mhm.
getting my bag, getting my lunch, and then we would walk out the back to walk up the driveway to catch the bus. And every morning I would grab, in the summer, in like obviously during the growing season, I would grab this hunk of chives, and I would chomp on these chives every morning, which I'm sure made my breath just lovely for my school day. But I loved those chives, and I would just, every morning from whenever they would pop up, probably June, and then in September, October, until when it would start snowing, I would eat chives every morning, and I just loved it. I loved having them
Mm,
there. I loved, I just, everything was fresh, which was so nice.
yeah. Yeah, I love that. Again, too, our stories are so similar there. I lived my road though too to get to where we needed to catch the bus, and it was one of the first stops as well too. And this is, imagine, the middle of winter in Alaska. We all got our own vehicles around 12 years old. We would get our own beat up vehicle that we could drive the almost 3 miles it took to get to the main road, and then you get to the main road, and then we would catch the bus, which then would be like an hour or so to get to town to where our school was and everything. And it was all, so imagine like being one of the first stops, and the bus is barely warmed up and you're just freezing the whole time. Oh,
Just
country living,
it
deep
was just
country living.
my kid will never get it. Like we'll go out in the country, we'll do hikes and everything. But I was like, you don't really understand. Because we were just, we obviously grew up with a cable TV. Like, we had two channels with rabbit ears and stuff, and you'd
Yep.
go to the movie store to rent a movie on the weekend. But
Yep.
really during the week, you just went outside, and it doesn't matter the weather, you were out there.
Oh
So
yeah.
I just, I was out there taking compost. We had a burning barrel, and like
Hmm. Yep.
a riding mower, cutting the grass, weeding, chopping ice. That's really how I grew up. But it's
Yep.
been interesting to see how I probably applied that deep rooted learning from my childhood to
Yep.
this whole life I have now in the garden space.
Yeah, yeah. It was cool though too, in that sense, as I look back at it, like you said, though, it really is that kind of life that it really forces you outdoors all the time. So you get, being out in the country, the connection to nature, all that sort of stuff. Really awesome. I mean, as tough as those winters were, it was a really great experience overall. I will say though, I always joke with my daughter and all that, is that I got one of those, old grandparent stories where, I walk, uphill and downhill through 2 feet of snow to get, to and from school. And it was the truth in my case, but
Yep. And now, there's 3 inches of snow on the ground, and they cancel school. And I
oh
and
my
I still
gosh. Yeah.
remember when they would cancel the buses.
Hmm.
The schools would always stay open, and my mother would be like, "These Minkhorst kids, they're not staying home." She would throw those chains on the tires, and she would take the three of us to school, 20 kilometers to school, drop us off. And so sometimes there were only like 30 kids in the school, but it was our family always.
Yeah, I know. There's no getting out of school back then either, too, man.
No.
That's for sure. Yeah, we'd even have like the snow plows literally driving right in front of the school bus just to make sure we got there for sure.
Yeah.
Like, no, you make sure you get our kids in the school. We need a break from them.
Exactly.
All right, all right, excellent. So yeah, tell us a little bit about when you first got into growing and gardening there with your new home and all of that, and some of these first things that got you in. What we talked about, find that thing that you really like and get you started and get you going and hooked into gardening. Well, what was it for you specifically that really got you like, oh man, I need to get growing in this new home that we have?
I think for the entry point was like, it looks horrible. It looks so ugly.
Right.
And we had this new house. It was an old house, a 100-year century house, but we were like pride of ownership. It looked horrendous and it was overgrown and there weren't that many plants there. There were probably, actually I can tell you almost exactly what there was. There were 5 rhubarb plants. We kept one, of course, because you don't want to give that
Got
up.
it.
But it's a small property. We didn't need 5. I love
Yep.
rhubarb, but not that much. And then we had a couple forsythias, a weigela, and a bridal wreath spirea, and that was pretty much it. And so I was like, what do I do? Where do I go? I kind of consulted my mom a little bit. She helped me get started, but I'm also the kind of person that likes to just do it. Like I just need to teach myself. And so I just went out, probably Costco, like big box stores like Canadian Tire up in Canada, and I just like found whatever. We moved in October, so I didn't plant anything until the following spring, but I really didn't have a plan. There was only one existing kind of cordoned off garden bed, and I just started planting things that I knew about, that I'd heard, like hydrangeas and hostas, and then my mom would point me in the direction of things like astilbe. But that was like, there weren't any native plants in there. There weren't really any vegetables, any thing that I plant now, but it was an entry point to get me into this space. And then I would, add, do the planters and get the impatiens and the geraniums, whatever I could find, the spike plants, like whatever I kind of thought I remembered, I would do. And then as I did more and as I started really, the learning trajectory went up so fast when I started posting online, because one of the things that you well know about the gardening community is people are very supportive and people are very encouraging, and people will always lead you, point you in the right direction. Maybe not everybody, but most people in my experience. And I think that's when people opened up things like, why don't you try this? Why don't you try this? Don't plant that. That's probably invasive in your region. I didn't even really know what invasive was, honestly. I didn't know the difference between invasive and naturalized and things that were native. Like I didn't understand the nuances and the differences. And so that's when I just started learning more and more and more as people started feeding me more information. And then I started seeking out what else I could learn. And then that added into peonies and planting fall bulbs, and then adding in all these native plants and being like, oh, a New Jersey tea. Oh, an elderberry. Oh, we can eat those berries. Oh, a service berry. You can eat those berries as well. And it has these gorgeous white blooms. And then what's ground cover? And then basically within 3 years, I had gotten rid of my entire front lawn. And like, it's not a giant front lawn, but it was big enough. But like, it was probably 26 feet by 35 feet. I'd wiped every blade of grass was gone, and it was replaced by plants. And because I didn't have enough space. I wanted more. I was insatiable. And then we wanted to grow
So
vegetables.
did you set in like garden beds? What type of beds or things did you do with the lawn?
No, the lawn in the front was
You just
just
ripped
like
it out and just
plowed
started
it.
plopping flowers in it?
Yep.
There you go.
I
Okay.
covered it. At first I was like bringing up the grass, and I was like digging out the grass, and I was like, I can't do this. My back's like, I'm 40 something years old. Like my back's killing me. I can't do this, the whole thing. So then someone's like, oh, you can do this thing where you take cardboard and then you just cover it with like wood chips. And I was like, great. So I just did that in the fall. And then I was like, oh, great. Now it's all dead. So then I started planting. And then in the back, we put in garden beds. We put in 6 raised beds in the back. So 3 of them were dedicated for vegetables, and then 3 of them are for cut flowers. And then interspersed, obviously, in the garden beds are herbs and rhubarb and asparagus and other things that just kind of work into that. But then the raised garden beds are for the main ones that we eat. Like things like peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers. And then the raised beds, the cut flower beds, are for things that I like to grow that I just enjoy giving away. So snapdragons, dahlias, lisianthus, ranunculus, straw flowers, and so those are just for cut flowers, and then everything else is just like perennial. Through that, then I learned about bloom times and design principles and landscape design principles, and because there's so much to learn, and I could go on and on, but that was what led me to joining my local Master Gardeners group, because I really felt like I had a duty to myself and people who were watching my videos to know what I was talking about. So that's when, now I feel like I have a little bit better grounding, but learning so much every single day.
Yeah. That's again, too, as you mentioned, it's one of the great things about being a part of the gardening community, being online and doing that sort of stuff, is that we meet so many awesome people who give us so many different ideas and things. Most of my garden spaces that we use, small spaces, our earth buckets, all these sort of things that we do are things that I've learned from other folks online, which is really, really makes the gardening community really, really awesome. So tell me again, though, too, I mean, what was it that motivated you to, take this gardening experience that you had and just start putting videos online before you got to really get to know the gardening community?
Well, the honest answer is that I ran out of storage space on my phone,
Yeah.
but I wanted to. One of the pieces of gardening advice I got was taking photos of your garden to check your progress, and also to monitor when things are blooming and what you planted and where you planted it. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that. But then I had no storage on my phone, which is a perennial issue, no pun intended, for me. And so that was the first reason, just for posterity, I could go back every year and say, oh, this is time stamped, this is what it is, video, and I could go and look at it. And then that kind of just spiraled to people being interested in what I had to say. And so the first 6 months was like me pretending that I knew what I was talking about, and like researching it really as much as I could, and then posting it. But I actually had no idea what I was talking about, and I had very little success. Like, I was starting vegetables from seed, and I was starting flowers from seed, and maybe I was getting like a 15% survival rate. But I was making it seem like, I got this, everybody. Just follow my lead. And then I like, but you're in good hands. But it was such a failure. But then every year I started picking it up a little bit better, because I was learning tips from other people. And then I started to just be a little bit more authentic with what I was saying, and being like, this is real life. You don't need to nail everything the first time. You don't have to be good at everything. Gardening is about failure. That is how you get good. That is how you get better, is by making mistakes. I've never met a gardener who hasn't killed thousands of plants. Like, that is part of the game. And it's,
we call them learning opportunities, right? Turn our failures into learning opportunities. Embrace it, though. I think one of the best pieces of advice right off the bat for a new gardener, we talked about this last week with our guest last week as well, too, is embracing those failures, embracing the mistakes that can be made, and take them on as learning opportunities. First piece of advice, be prepared. These sort of things are going to happen, and you're going to go through plant loss. Things aren't going to grow the way you want them to grow. Pests are going to get in there and deal with things. But all these are things that are learning opportunities for you to get better and better at growing and doing this sort of stuff.
Yeah. And that's the fun. Like, that is where the joy for me happens, is, going through the progress for me of, using pesticides at one point and being like, yes, this is the easiest way to deal with this. And 4 years later, realizing I don't use any anymore, and I have no problems because I've
Yeah.
learned more about integrated pest management, and it works. And
Yes.
I know it works because I do it. And I can
Yep.
show people all my cut flowers and all of our vegetables that don't have, and that we're not dealing with any pest pressure because they are busy in all the other plants that we have that are for them. And I've really just, those things I just had to come to myself
Yeah.
because I'm always about the shortcuts. What's easy, but the thing about gardening is that there are not that many shortcuts. And I try to always avoid going down the road of like, this is an easy hack. Like there are things that
Mhm.
are easy, that are easier. But the
Yeah.
reality is no good garden is built in one season. It takes
Yeah.
5 to 10 seasons, for your garden to mature where you are at a point where you're editing and you're moving. So I think just being real about it, which is funny on social media because some people will call it like, ad antisocial media because
Mhm.
sometimes it's fake. Like I'm just,
Mm.
yeah, and I just don't like the before and after stuff that makes it seem like, oh, here was my blank slate garden, and
Yeah.
now look at it. Do you
Yeah.
realize, if you had any landscapers, how much money they put into it? I spend almost very little money on my garden. I do it all myself because A, I like to, B, I'm cheap, and C, I like to show people.
Yep.
But I don't want to give anyone the impression that these things happen very quickly because the learning curve is real, and
Yep.
it does take a long time to get the hang of it, vegetable gardening included,
Yep.
or landscape, anything. But
Yeah.
it's part of the journey, and it's the best part.
Yeah, it really is. It really is because again, all what we get to also, which is what we're dealing with right now, being the first weekend of spring here, is that each season renews, and we get a whole opportunity to not necessarily start from a clean slate, but to kind of start over and try again at things that we learned from the previous season, and we take that season after season. That's a lifetime of just fun experiences each and every year. And like I said, embracing those sort of things that can come up and be something that we got to deal with, and I love that. I've never really myself, even in my own content that I started, I spent years watching others and watching all these videos of these other content creators that, I've been fortunate enough to get to meet later on, but learning so much from them before I started mine. But when I got started, I kind of took similar path, but not the same in the sense that I've ever really kind of considered myself a teacher of gardening. I really kind of embrace and really enjoy those garden channels that are kind of like vlogs in a way, and people are taking you along from the process. Sort of like you're saying, the before and after stuff is great to a certain extent, that sort of thing, but getting to see all the nuance in between, to follow along with different gardeners and what they're doing and learning in their spaces, as they're learning though too, and that's kind of really the fun. So I do, or have done in the past. I need to get back onto it more, but did these like weekly garden journals, that could take people week to week. Look what's going on. We were here this week with this last week, this week it's look what's happening, to kind of just take people along with that sort of stuff, which is really great, experience wise for newer gardeners too, to kind of see that even though I've been gardening for years and years, there's still stuff that I'm dealing with as well.
And I think that like those vlog formats are great. I'm a teacher by heart and by training. Like
Yeah.
I've been a teacher for my whole life. I was a camp counselor, then I became a teacher. And it's kind of at the heart of who I am. And so I think that's my natural inclination. But I also see the benefit in just saying what's happening. And like
Yep.
there doesn't have to be a learning moment in everything. Part of it's just having fun. Part of it's showing your failures, and you don't need to always explain everything. You can just show and tell. That's it.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
do like those pages as well. I do like to teach because I sometimes
Oh
think
yeah.
that there's a missing step in sometimes like basic understanding of
Yep.
like how a seed germinates,
Yep.
and soil structure, and why soil structure matters, and the things like what is mycorrhiza, like what is that? Like you
Yeah.
hear it, you see it on a label, but no one tells you what it is and what
Yeah.
it does and why it's important. And so like leaving the leaves, we hear all these leave the leaves. Does anyone explain to you what the leaves do, what the carbon benefits, the overwintering insects,
Mhm.
the mulch that it acts as.
Yeah.
Just taking time sometimes to point those things out for people that may not know why is
Mhm.
sometimes the opportunities that I try to find without being too preachy, because I know no one wants that. I'm trying not to be too judgy, too preachy, but try to make it accessible and try to distill complicated botany issues down to
Yeah.
something that a common layperson like me can understand.
Yeah, yeah, or me. I need teachers, folks out there like yourself who are doing these sort of things. That's why we like, this. I love doing this show is to be able to talk with and interview folks like yourself who do love the teaching aspect of it all and are putting out that type of content out there that really helps educate people about some of these nuances of gardening that we're not really thinking about a lot when we're out there trying to figure things out.
Yeah, and I've listened to lots of. I've had the great pleasure, like you, of meeting a lot of incredible people in this space: ecologists, botanists, master gardeners, people who've been in this, horticulturalists who've been in this field forever. I don't profess to be any of those things, but I
Mhm.
learn from those people, and those people have so much learning to share, and they're not always on social media.
Yeah.
But I do try to take what lessons they've taught me, a soil scientist, for example, and break it down something where you don't need to go down into the weeds, where you
Yeah.
can just say, what is soil structure?
Mhm.
What is clay soil? What is sandy soil? And what are the benefits and potential disadvantages to each one of those things? And understanding the basic 101 of that, most people don't know. So
Yeah.
I like bringing those conversations in because that's what I'm learning at the time. And I just try to put it in a language that people understand and trying to make it fun. Might be a little song, might be a little dance in there, but try to make sure the learning happens because that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like I said, that's a great way to learn with all the fun as well too. But also as we do figure some of that stuff out, like you're saying, it's important to kind of show and highlight these sort of aspects of growing, especially soil science and all of that, because what does that do in the long run? That kind of breaks it down and kind of simplifies the idea of gardening and what we need to be doing. You talked about experimenting with different types of, throwing some pesticides, they're doing all sorts of stuff. And as a new gardener, if we're not following or getting that right type of understanding of what things mean in our garden space, that's what we're trying, all sorts of different stuff. And then if we can really get things down and simplify it for us by folks like yourself, then we can understand how much, we don't need a lot of these sort of things. And we don't need to be putting those sort of things into our gardens to have really great gardens. I love that you mentioned IPM, integrated pest management. I mean, this was a big one for me when I started figuring that out, was because then again, that I was always kind of somewhat organic in my thinking of what doing it. But then, I was still trying all these other organic methods of trying to spray things down, neem oils and doing all these different stuff, that were organic in a sense, but then still learning IPM was like, wait a minute, let's start inviting things into our garden. Let's
Yep.
bring more life into the garden. And then that's going to start changing that aspect of the pest damage and the things that I was seeing in the garden space, and starting to learn that more and to be able to get on top of that stuff, just again simplified everything down to something that's just really kind of easy and basic and natural, right?
Yeah, and it's not that complicated
No.
once you kind of start to put the puzzle pieces together. But when
Mhm.
someone's just telling you something,
Yep.
as opposed to explaining it and
Yep.
showing you,
Yep.
people can tell how many seed starting videos there are, millions out there. But why do you have a humidity dome? Why do you take it off? What is cold stratification? Why is it necessary? What is the evolution of a seed in a cold
Mhm.
zone versus why, a tomato seed doesn't need cold stratification?
Yeah.
Understanding that is very, very important when you're trying to help people become lifelong gardeners. Because if you
Yep.
just tell them, do that, and then do that, and then do that, without having a sense of why we do these things and why X is important and Y might not be important, you're kind of missing the point, in my opinion.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. Well, we got a few questions in here. Let's go ahead and jump in here. Let's see here. Okay, here's a good question. Jay was asking, what first attracted you to flower gardening? Because that's primarily what got you going, right? Was growing, and you still
Yeah.
primarily a flower gardener, right?
Yeah, I think it was probably part of how I was raised. I always liked having flowers. We had fresh flowers in the house. And when I realized I started liking buying cut flowers for the house, I was like, these are very expensive. Like these are even at the grocery store, like these are pretty pricey. And I thought, I bet you I could just grow these. And then when you start growing them, at first you don't have enough. So you just want to keep them in the garden. And so I liked that. I just thought they were just so beautiful. And then that just went crazy, and like bringing the insects, seeing ladybugs, seeing butterflies, seeing native bees, like knowing the
Yeah.
difference between a honeybee and a bumblebee, and and just like a sweat bee, and being like, oh, did you see the sweat bee? Did you see the monarch? And I still remember posting a video of what I thought was a monarch, and it wasn't. It was a viceroy. But anyway, it was like I didn't know the timing of when butterflies came. Anyway, so what started is
That's
everything
awesome.
that in my life starts by me being cheap and not wanting
Yeah.
to spend money, and then goes to a new hobby. So this one was, I wanted flowers. I didn't want to pay for them. I wanted to grow my own, and then that just kind of turned into crazy. And obviously, making the front of my house look nice.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's the best part, right? Is that you get to, even all types of gardening and all that we do is that we grow it, we get it making our property look really nice, and
Mhm.
that's kind of one of the big rewards is sitting back and taking a look at everything that you've set up and built up through your garden space.
Indeed.
Let's see here. Cowabunga asks, have you any experience tips for growing a native wildflower meadow to replace your front lawn? Worried about the ugly phase that may draw complaints from neighbors. So you're talking about creating a nice space. A lot of people have a lot, and I don't know. I mean, I guess to certain folks, I mean, certain wildflower meadow type spaces, that sort of thing can seem kind of erratic and all,
Mhm.
and not, if it's not uniform in a sense, but still really beautiful spaces you can make them into, right?
This was a absolutely great question. I love this question, and I've learned I don't care what people think of my neighbor. Like, I love my
Yeah.
neighbors, but I don't care if they like it. It's not for
Yeah.
them. It's for me. It's for the ecosystem. It's for wildlife. Like, that's what my goal is. That being said, I know people are part of HOAs. I know people
Yep.
have great relationships with their neighbors, and they want it to look aesthetically pleasing. There are some very simple things that you can do. One, if you're in a smaller space and you want to create a little meadow, even if it's not small, plant selection is very critical, but also the number of plants. Like, you do not need to pick 400 different plants.
Mhm.
Start with ones that look really great, that you like aesthetically, that have nice foliage, because remember, the blooms are only going to last for a certain amount of time. Or you choose ones that are going to last for a little bit longer, like a Rudbeckia hirta, like a black-eyed Susan, that's going to bloom for a nice long time, like a yarrow, like a white yarrow, going to last for a nice long time. And then plant in drifts and in really big swaths of color. Um, Look at the color wheel if you want, but there's, what colors look. I like, a white. I have a kind of a white, purple, yellow mix going on mostly in my front yard, but plant them in big clumps. You could really only pick 4 or 5 plants, ones that are blooming at different times. Add in a ground cover, add in some shrubs, and it's going to look great. But less is more if you want to focus on the aesthetics.
Yeah. Yeah. Less is more. And yeah, it just imagine the space in a different way, and think about all the different possibilities you can do. But like you said, less is more. Bring in some good color. I think of like also making things to where you can, kind of level or layers in a sense that you can think of that can kind of create kind of a layered effect that can really help make the visual aspect of everything's a little bit better than just things kind of planted all, and coming up all willy-nilly in a sense if you're
My
looking for something that's more attractive.
my general rule is that I do about 30% trees and shrubs, and might want to do ornamental trees and shrubs. 20% like grasses and sedges. Those
Mm.
really add some structure and dimension to the garden. A lot of them will provide a lot of winter interest if you're
Yeah.
in a northern state or any province in Canada. And then in the 50% of perennials that you have, make sure there's a nice balance between low growing ground covers, kind of middle height, 3 to 4 feet, and then your tall plants, your 5, 6+ feet
Yeah.
babies. Make sure there's a nice balance, and you don't need to have the tall ones. Most conventional wisdom is tall at the back, short in the front. That's not good advice. I think messing around with it, playing around with different heights, and different color schemes is very important. But plant selection is very critical, and choosing fewer plant species and planting them in larger groups is going to be
Mhm.
your way to an aesthetic wildflower garden for sure.
Yeah, right on. Let's see. The Serena is asking, talking about IPM, what kind of plants attract predatory wasps to feed on the hornworms? I got a pretty simple answer to this one.
Go ahead.
The plants that attract the hornworms, your tomato plants and that sort of stuff, because you get those things in your garden, then they're going to bring in some wasps that are going to be looking to find those things. So, pretty simple on that one. Whatever attracts those specific types of pests that are going to bring in wasps, like the other types of, cutworms and things that can show up in your garden that wasps really love, plant those things and grow those things.
I've never had a problem attracting wasps.
Yeah, that's right. When it comes down to it, they're as long as you got something for them to feed on, they're going to be up and running and flying around and looking at it. I think the biggest thing though too is for folks to be comfortable with those types of predators in their garden, though, right? Because I know at first, I not thinking about IPM early on in my early gardens, I'd see wasps, what's going on, and that sort of thing. And now I can kind of step back a little bit and go, okay, you go do your thing because I need you here in this space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think knowing that there are some insects like some of the wasps, hornets, that may have more aggressive behaviors, and knowing to give them a little bit more space,
Yep.
but also knowing that bees are never going to come at you. Like, they are never going to be
Right.
the aggressor. And knowing the difference between those will put you at a lot of peace in the garden around, because there's a lot of insect fear from people. I learned about people entering gardening as a new hobby, and the reality is, like, worms and bees and ladybugs and even earwigs, like, they're not out to get you. They're not looking for you.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me, because I was one of those kids. I got stung when I was at a young age, and then from that point on, I was just anything, a bee, wasp, whatever, biting flies, anything that coming around me, I was just freaking out and running from them and all that, until I got into my garden space and was starting to learn some of these aspects of IPM and integrated pest management and how we want those things around. So now I can take a look more of I kind of look at them in a more fascinating way and step back. And like you said, bees especially, they're just out doing what they're doing. So if they're flying around you or coming around you, you're just in their way. That's all. And they just want to get around you and all that sort of thing. Now, there's some wasps out there that can be not so friendly, but they still got a job to do as well.
Yeah. Give them a wide berth.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Let's get another question. Oh, here we go. Jay was asking, what is the clown part of your gardening?
That's great. Great question. So the clown part of gardening is like me doing stupid stuff, me having fun in the garden. Like, when I'm in there, I'm not always like weeding. I'm not always like amending the soil. I'm not always harvesting. I'm not always inspecting for hornworms. I am just doing stupid stuff. I'm dancing in there. I'm rolling around. I'm just enjoying that space. Like, it brings me so much joy. And so I like my whole kind of ethos is just showing people that it's fun. Like it's okay to have fun in the garden. It doesn't have to be so serious. So the clowning is putting wigs on, wearing different silly colored frames, singing silly songs that I either make up or lip sync to, and doing that all in the garden or around plants. And sometimes, interspersing teaching and learning in there, and sometimes
Hmm.
not. Sometimes just there in the backdrop of me doing something silly and fun, because sometimes that's what you need. You don't always need a lesson. You don't always need to learn something, but you always need the garden. Like in the garden, even, people who don't garden still like being outside. A lot of people still like going for a hike. People still like a tree. There's still so much joy in that. So sometimes it doesn't have to be about gardening. It just has to be about being outside and being around plants, and then just showing it that you can have fun in there. It doesn't always have to be so serious. Like, back in the day when, that gardening was the hobby of the elite, the well-to-do, the rose gardens, the
Yeah.
prized roses. Like, I have roses. They are not prized. They have not won one prize. They will never win a prize. But it's fun. Like, I'm going to show you, I did a whole video about just like how many roses I had. And I just showed you all the stupid things I could do with the 45 roses that I harvested, and
Yeah.
just silly. And it's okay. Like, it's not that serious. It's
Oh
serious
yeah.
because gardening's important, but it doesn't always have to feel that serious.
No, that's that. I love it, and that's what makes content like yours so fun to follow. Is people are having fun and enjoying their garden spaces, along with all the other stuff as well too. I try to have a little bit of humor and fun with what I do as well in my garden space or videos and things as well too. But I think you do a great job. I always enjoy watching what antics you're coming up with on your latest reels and all of that. Let's see here. Let's drop one more question in here real quick. Do you have any favorite observation, phenomenon from nature you've seen that has taught you lessons in another area of life, relationships, education, care, mental health, etc.? So yeah, things that you learn in your garden that you can apply to other aspects of your life.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful, beautiful question. I think just the reciprocal nature
Hmm.
of kind of living things, and
Yeah.
and in by helping create life and habitat for things that you don't need to help. Like, you're not doing it because it's going to necessarily benefit you personally. Um, but that
Yeah.
reciprocal nature of there was in the book Braiding Sweetgrass. If you've never read it, I encourage you to read it. It's one of my favorite gardening books. But the garden plants went from humans relying on plants to survive to now plants relying on humans to help them survive. So I feel
Mm.
like we've come to this point where I need to help them. They helped us get to where we are. Now we've done some damage. So I want to go help them in return. And I really think that that can translate in any part of my life,
Yeah.
in any part of anyone's life, hopefully. That sometimes you need to lean on someone, and then
Hmm.
for help, and then sometimes they need to lean on you. And
Yeah.
so right now, to me, I'm like a plant helper, and I want, like, they can lean on me a little bit, and so I'm there to educate, I'm there to encourage, and I'm there to teach people about why we really need these plants, why our humanity and our survival and their survival depends on it,
Hmm.
and but make it fun.
Yeah. Yes. But make it fun too, as well, for sure.
Yeah.
So right on. What do you got coming up in your anything new or anything that you're going to be growing in the garden this year that's different than you've grown before?
I feel like every now that I've been in this social media circus for a few years now, I always say to myself, just chill out in the winter. And I
Yeah.
never listen to myself. And so I now everything's kind of very, very busy. I have like 400 plants. I don't even know how many. I just say 400. It could be 500. It could be 300. I'm not sure. Plants started inside, that are going on, vegetables, all the cut flowers, all the annuals. I have a whole bunch of winter sowing that's just starting to sprout outside. So right now I'm focused on getting my cubic yard of soil of like really rich soil that's going to come in,
Yeah.
and just kind of like do an inventory of what's out there, and then just getting excited about some things that I'm looking forward to planting. There's always new varieties now. Seed companies, now that I've been in this space for a while, seed companies will send me some new varieties to try out, like new snapdragons, or I'm going to pick up a whole bunch of dahlia tubers from Flower Farm tomorrow that someone wants to gift to me, and I'm so excited because
Yeah.
I'm happy to share those with the world because they're very fun and they're very beautiful. So those things I'm excited for. But I have a lot of things in the hopper. Honest to God,
Yeah.
way too much for me to handle. And
I feel the
but
same way.
I'm insatiable. I can't say no. I love doing it. My goal this year, and I haven't posted about it yet, but I'll tell you here first, is my whole this year I'm going to do like a little garden road trip around Ontario, and I'm going to take a week
Mm.
off work, and I'm just going to get in the car, and I'm going to put out there to anyone who wants to invite me into their garden, their flower farm, their homestead, and I'm just going to go around and just look at other gardens because I'm in mine so much. Like I get it,
Yeah.
I know it.
Yep.
I've spent so much time in there, and now I'm kind of ready to branch out a little bit. I'm throwing a lot of puns unintentionally,
That's
and
great.
branch out a little bit and just see what else is out there. People
Yeah.
write me so often and
Mhm.
share photos and videos of their gardens, and I'm like, I want to show them. I want to
Yep.
show them to other people. I know not everyone wants to create content for social media, or people don't have the confidence or whatever, or the resources or the time, but I have the time and I have the resources, and I want to use that space to kind of show off some other gardens and the other ways that people are doing gardening, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, yeah. Cowabunga says, blessed to be in Ontario and share this land with you. Who knows? There might be a garden to visit there, right?
Sounds like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. And no, and that's really, I'm telling you, when I first started growing, and you kind of got your space, like you're saying, I'm done a lot of videos, done a lot of showing off what I grow and I garden and all of that. But the real fun in content creation for me out of the garden was going exploring other folks' gardens and getting to visit them to see what they have growing on, how they grow, and do all those sort of things. It's just really, really fun. So I hope that you do get out there and get to see some really great gardens.
Yeah, I've done it every year, but this year I'm going to make it like a goal that I'm actually just going to dedicate some time to it because
Mhm.
I just love it. Every time I've done it, I love
Yeah.
it, and I've met so many very cool people, and so many fascinating people who've taught me a lot and shown me a lot, and I think it's just the exact way I want to spend a week's holiday, is just looking at gardens. So hopefully I'll find some electric car company to sponsor me so I can go around. But if not,
Oh,
I'm just
yeah,
going to
that's
use
what
my
you
old
need
car.
for sure, right? Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, our facilitator, Jay, she's in Ontario as well. Maybe there's a good garden to go check out. Heck
And
yeah,
I know
that'd be fun.
Brandy. I'm going to hopefully check out Brandy's garden because she's not
Yeah.
far from me as well.
Yeah, you gotta get Brandy for sure. I know, our other co-host for the green room we do, which we're gonna have to get you on sometime as well too. But, Natalie from the Fresh Princess, she has a fun little indoor garden that she does in like a, in a big, huge grow tent, but she's also doing some outdoor stuff as well too. So yeah, we got lots of people you can go check out for
I
sure.
love that because it really just shows you all the different ways you can garden. You don't need to be in the middle of the country in a full sun spot to grow things. You can
Mhm.
do it you can do it on a balcony. You can do it inside. You can do it in a community garden or a community plot or a school garden or whatever. Like there's so many
It's
ways to do
endless
things.
limits there too, endless. Y
Indeed.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's so great. Awesome. So again, too, let's see here. One more thing I'll ask you about because I know you, uh, and I can't remember what the event was, but do you get out and do some events, garden fairs, these sort of things like that?
Yeah, I'm doing a few appearances. I'm doing I've done a couple speaking things with Landscape Ontario already. I'm gonna do a few talks at some native plant nurseries around Ontario. A couple social clubs that have
Yeah.
invited me out to speak. I'm gonna be doing some of those, and then I'm hopefully just gonna be popping up in a little here and there I was have to balance all these things, so I don't want to overpromise. I like to underpromise and overdeliver. So
Oh,
those are the
there you
ones
go.
I have slated, and then who knows? Then I will start in Ontario, and then hopefully I can go across Canada, across North America, all around the world, because I have really cool people that follow me from every corner, that reach out and show me things, whether it's in like Namibia or New Zealand or Ukraine or parts of the UK or Chile, and I'm like, I need to go there. I want to see. So I like
Mhm.
Japan is on my list too. I really
Oh
want to get
my.
over to Japan. So anyway, starting small though.
Dreams,
Starting
man. I'm
small.
telling you, these are my dreams as well too. I've had
Yeah.
in my mind the idea of like wanting to like get like an RV or something like that, and then just start traveling around the country, Canada, North America, basically, and just go and visit. I've gotten to meet and know so many people through this show and this channel and all that sort of stuff. It'd be so amazing to just travel around and go visit all these people and make videos and doing it and everything. It'd just be so fun. And then you take it to that whole other level, go worldwide, get to check
Yeah.
out some of the different cultures and how they garden and do different things as well. It's just how amazingly fun would that be?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like this Netflix production all the time. Like you can just
Right.
go and just show people. Like I do it all the time when we're
Yeah.
traveling. My husband's from Spain. Like I show when I'm there. I'm like, here's what gardening, here Mediterranean garden style. Here it is. Like when I was
Yeah.
over there, when I flew through London, I went to see my friend in London. I went to Kew Gardens. I just show people like this is what like whenever I'm there somewhere, I want to give people a glimpse because not everyone can't go everywhere. So whenever I'm
Mhm.
somewhere, it's being intentional. And now I've connected the dots and realized that, oh, there's people that follow me and I follow them who want to show me their gardens. And now I have a couple of people who are going to come to my garden this year. I'm going to see a couple of people I follow at their gardens. And I'm very excited because, we don't always have to have parasocial relationships. You can meet people in real life.
I know, I know. It's where we get, again, it's kind of our thing, to be out sharing and putting out our content and social media so that people can see it all over.
Yeah.
But one of the best things about gardening and growing is getting connected with your fellow gardeners, whether that's locally, through, like you're saying, community gardens, doing different things, or getting a chance to, take advantage of a trip or a vacation or something and get out and go check out and meet other folks who are gardening in different places than your own. So again, that human connection is really important, and what a great way to make better human connections than finding fellow gardeners and people who share that same passion.
No better way.
No better way at all. Well, Grant, here we are, end of the show already. I can just keep going on and talking with you about all sorts of stuff, here, but we do got to finish this up eventually. But just another wonderful conversation. So glad to have you back for the longer talk here, as a featured guest this time. I knew it'd be really a really great conversation. So thanks for being here with us today.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I'll have to get you an invite out down the road here and come join us on the green room. We're having such a fun time with that show there as well too.
I would love to.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, Grant, thank you so much for being here. And everybody, if you get a chance and you haven't gotten to check out Grant over at the Gardening Grant, got links right down below for you there, so you can go and check him out as well. And then definitely, like I always say, go over and leave him a comment. Let him know you saw him here on the Let's Get Growing show. All right. Thanks again, Grant. We'll see you.
Thanks, Nick.
You bet.
See you soon.
You got it. All right. There we go. Thanks again to Grant Minkhorst from the Gardening Grant joining with us and hanging out today for our conversation, as well as David from Bowtie Life doing his best he can to cover and take us there for the Farmhouse Fair down in Milton, Florida. Really fun time there as well. So again, thank you to our guests for being here with us today. And as I just mentioned, to get down below, check out the links, go and let them know that you saw them here on the Let's Get Growing show. And again, everybody, thank you for being here with us today. We do have more growing on this weekend. That's right. We're here as your 3-day gardening weekend. That's right, 3-day gardening weekend here. We also got our show, the Sunday edition, coming up tomorrow. That's right, Sunday edition for us tomorrow. We've got our friends Christopher Bransdahl and Kang Starr joining us for a fun roundtable conversation, catching up with them about what they've got growing on. It's the first weekend of spring, and as I mentioned, these guys were my original, like the first guests, first people I talked to on our live streams here on the Urban Gardener channel. So for a couple of years, Chris and Kang and I got together to celebrate the first weekend of spring. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow for the Sunday edition of the show. And again, like I said, we're here back again Monday evening, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern for the Green Room. And Natalie and I have invited to the Green Room, Natalie from the Fresh Princess, that is Craig LaHoulier. He is the author of the book Epic Tomatoes. Yeah, real popular tomato growing book, Epic Tomatoes. Craig LaHoulier will be with us for the Monday Green Room this Monday evening, as well as our good friend and co-host of the book club, Mark Boucher Colbert, will be joining with us as well too. So that's what we got coming up tomorrow and Monday evening. And just a warning about the show next week. Next Saturday, I will not be here. I'm taking next Saturday off. So hopefully we'll have Jay joining with us for next week. But we'll get that all figured out. Still some things we're still trying to do. And hopefully for next Sunday edition as well too, we'll have Tony from Simplified Gardening joining with us. So I got to get some of these things confirmed. So next weekend's going to be a little bit different, but we'll hopefully have something set up for all of you all to enjoy here on the Let's Get Growing show, and as well to the Green Room. We'll get all that figured out and let you know here as we get growing along this week. But again, everybody, thank you so much for being here with us today. It was really, really great to have you here with us. And if you can, let's go ahead before we finish up today. And if you haven't already, click the like button before we head out, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification to be notified of all of our upcoming shows, and definitely share with all of your garden friends out there. Let them know about the Let's Get Growing show and all of our great guests that we get here for, again, your 3-day gardening weekend. And as I always say, follow the links down below. And also, too, as we finish up the show, I do want to mention that we are always taking donations. It's really a great help from folks. If you can help donate to the show to help us keep the lights on around here and everything else, and some future projects that we'd like to work on, really, really do appreciate that. Again, it's easy enough to do super chats and those sort of things through YouTube, but they do take a big chunk of it. So if you follow the links down below and would like to contribute to the show to help us keep growing on here, there's links to like Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and those sort of things, so that you can do some direct donations. And we do always appreciate it. To put on a show like this takes a lot of work and a lot of things that we got to do and pay for, like like our platform and all of that sort of stuff. The bills will be coming due before too long, and I really do appreciate all of you who do have the ability to help donate and contribute to the show. So thank you all to all of you who do that. Again, thanks so much. And also, again, everybody, just really great to have you here. We really look forward to seeing you on our next show coming up tomorrow for the Sunday edition with our good friends Christopher and Kang. And I'll see all of you then.
is the ugliest plant in the world, but I love it.